Okay, great. So I like to stay punctual. So it's 11 a.m. now, so we're gonna get started. A couple things before we do start. Some of you might already know me. My name is Shaquille Williams. If you're an existing Finale customer, then you probably had a lot of experience communicating with me, especially if you have a specific interest in FBA or certain workflows that require a little bit of um, a special touch, you might say. But I am on the VisOps team as a customer relations manager. So if you're an existing Finale user, generally you're going to be speaking with me at some point in your Finale journey. So with that said, there are a couple additional things. If you have questions regarding the webinar as I go through the demonstration, please do write them in chat. We have someone that will collect those, and there is a Q&A section towards the end where I can answer those questions for you, which is going to be great. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So we're gonna look to get started now. So the webinar itself, it's a way to explore Finale's new features regarding FBA, specifically syncing down stock levels and transfer shipments, especially the inbound status for those shipments. We call this Finale's inventory sync between FBA. And during this demonstration, you're going to see how exclusive this feature is as you've looked on for other softwares to provide a solution for this. Finale really is the only one at this present time doing this level of integration with FBA as far as an inventory management solution is concerned. So let's get to it. And we're going to go beyond the basics here. So, as I said before, my name is Shaquille Williams. I've been a Finale customer, in case you haven't known, since 2017. So, as a customer, I've worked with the software to provide solutions for the business that I work for. At that time, we were a pretty significant e-commerce business doing refurbished electronics, working with FBA and multi-channel e-commerce. So, I have a lot of experience in that sphere. And one thing that I've never really been able to implement during that time was if FBA. Finale had some significant limitations with how they were doing the FBA program, and it just didn't accommodate our specific workflows. I would say without a doubt now, if I was still working in that environment, that I would 100% implement FBA within Finale, given the new workflows and the new level of information. It would enhance our operations and optimize how we worked without a doubt in the best way that we can imagine. Some of these things that I'm demonstrating here today are just without a doubt absolutely amazing. So we have a bit of an agenda. As you know, if you've been part of these webinars before, we're going to do an introduction of the features, and I'm going to show and explain some of these core concepts for you. And then we're going to get into a live demonstration that's going to demonstrate within an account how it will work as you set it up for yourself or how it relates to how you've been doing FBA today. And there's going to be that Q&A section that I highlighted previously. So let's get into the talking points. So we have four specific talking points that we're going to be discussing today, and that's the Amazon Fulfillment Network stock levels. So every bucket that you can imagine in FBA that holds inventory, Finale is going to give you visibility into that. It's going to be great. You're going to see it, and it's going to be awesome. We have automated transfer options. So getting away from those manual functions that your team might be doing regularly and really automating that to future-proof it for any kind of errors that humans might be making. Shipment discrepancies, which is going to have a real monetary value for your team and your company at the end of the day. We're going to get into that. I think you guys are going to be excited about that. And those barcoding workflows for the teams that are using barcoding within Finale today. So Amazon Fulfillment Network, right? So what's the real deal here? What's the value associated with getting these stock levels in Finale? Well, real-time updated information. So Finale itself positions itself to be an IMS, right? So as an IMS, we want to provide you with the detail levels of your stock, and we require real-time updates for that. Finale is going to get you that with the new FBA sync, and we're going to create views for you that will demonstrate those stock levels right away. So what are these fields that we're talking about? So these are going to be really familiar to you guys. As you know, Finale previously had available inventory and sales reservations. We've been known for having that, but now we're introducing unfulfillable inventory. That means damaged goods, return goods from customers, orders with FBA, demonstrating that as a stock value in Finale, allowing you to see when you need to create removal orders. Inbound working. So when you're creating a shipment to Amazon, pulling that down as an existing order in Finale to demonstrate reservations for your stock. Inbound shipped inventory, demonstrating inventory in transit to Amazon. Very, very powerful. Inbound receiving, Amazon processing inventory at their fulfillment center. Inbound problem, which we're going to highlight even more, and this one's really good. Remember that monetary value I talked about before? Really showing you the discrepancies between Amazon shipments and what you sent to Amazon, allowing you to create those disputes, get reimbursed. FC transfers meaning fulfillment center transfers, moving inventory between Amazon fulfillment networks. So when Amazon creates a transfer between their locations, we can demonstrate those quantity amounts in Finale, which is just, again, mind-blowing in my opinion. So FC processing, when they're processing the inventory at their fulfillment centers, all these are reservations, right? So previously, we're really only be able to see your available inventory at those locations. Now we can also see the reservations of inventory at fulfillment centers that aren't actually sellable at this time. And of course, researching for when Amazon has made a mistake and they're looking into it. So let's get into some of this untapped value that you might see in Finale. So we have some enhanced inventory visibility. We talked a little bit about that. So what's this mean for you as a customer? So reducing the risk of stockouts. When you can see what your inventory levels are in Finale in one place, you're able to make decisions based on that. So reducing stockout situations or overstock situations where you have too much inventory at Amazon because of your sales velocity and those fluctuations. We have a little bit more efficient workflows for management. So the value for that allows your business to function and be more efficient with the visibility that we're seeing now. So as you see more data, you're able to make better decisions and process your your decisions through the different stages. When inventory is inbound, what does that mean for your warehouse? Should they be processing new shipments for when you need to send more inventory to Amazon, or should you be purchasing new inventory because your stock is low and you don't have the inventory to actually send to Amazon? Better decision making with new data, better decisions. So again, being able to be more strategic as you approach inventory as a concept, whether it's reordering or replenishing stock, or even running promotions to move stock faster if you're seeing that your stock is not moving as quickly as you want. And proactive issue resolution. Again, as you see more data, we're going to talk about this over and over today. More data, more ability to make decisions and really elevate your business to a greater standard. So being more proactive when it comes to discrepancies so that you don't have to wait for Amazon to notify you, because we all know Amazon's not going to notify you. You have to tell Amazon when they're doing something wrong. Finale is going to give you the information so that you can do that. And increasing transparency and accountability. So with all these new data points, we're also going to introduce new workflows. And those new workflows are going to involve your team. You're going to have the accountability to understand that Finale's tracking all those shipments. It's tracking when your team moves inventory, and it allows you to understand why you're in this situation where you previously might not have been able to. And of course, promoting that accountability that we discussed. So let's get into the next section here. And you guys are really, really going to enjoy this one. So you enjoyed the previous one, you're going to continue to enjoy this one. So automated transfer shipments, right? We're talking about inbound shipments that you create to Amazon on Seller Central, syncing down to Finale in an automated way via the API, moving inventory from your existing sublocations automatically to an in-transit location that represents Amazon. That's a little technical sounding, but it's really fun, and I think it's really cool, and you guys are going to really enjoy it when you see it. Completely handled by the API, giving you the audit trail and capabilities to really look into it and get into the weeds. But we all know we're generally only looking into audits when there's a problem. So you just really get to take advantage of the workflows and the new informations and just seeing those stock levels represented in Finale. Again, and it integrates really seamlessly with current workflows. So you don't even have to change the way you're operating today. You just get to benefit from it. So let's talk a little bit about those workflows. So we have two primary ones, and those are going to be transfer pending setups. So essentially, you having a location within your warehouse where you designate shipments to be moved to Amazon. I consider this an important process because you really want to reserve inventory that you're moving to Amazon so that it's separate from your sellable inventory as you sell online. When you do this, you're able to prevent yourself from selling inventory that's not sellable at this time, right? When you're moving inventory to Amazon, you don't want to be presented on your marketplace so that it can potentially oversell. So this process really allows you to manage that stock and also incorporate a workflow where your team is actually picking inventory from your warehouse for this particular purpose. Imagine picking an order, but picking a transfer shipment for Amazon, and you're going to really like that process. So we call this sending to STA, which stands for send to Amazon. It's a send to Amazon workflow. You're pretty familiar with that, I'm sure. And in that case, we're going to be using that terminology a little bit moving forward as we talk. So Amazon's also introducing a new process, which is AWD, right? You guys might have looked into it. You might be familiar. It's a way for Amazon to self-distribute inventory when they're low on stock at FBA from this particular warehouse. So this can be self-automated within Finale as long as you're running a virtual location to represent that stock in Amazon. So completely automated in the sense that Amazon will create shipments from AWD and that will sync down straight to Finale and again replenish that stock so you can see the numbers and you can understand what's happening. So let's get into barcoding workflows, and we're gonna go through this, and then at that point, we're gonna get into the demonstration of what all this works through, how it works in Finale. But we got a little bit more to kind of discuss here. So barcoding workflows, these are fun because it gets the team to kind of work with barcodes, get away from the paper trail and all that technology, and just get in the warehouse and scan inventory. So we have two highlighting features here, transfer orders, which we're going to get into, and really directed picking. Some of the initial value that you're going to get from this is that validation. If you're familiar with directed picking in Finale, the barcode scanner guiding you through your warehouse for your location and then telling you what inventory to pick while also validating you're picking the right inventory. That's something that's super, super useful, and the warehouse scalability with it. With barcoding workflows, you're able to save money, essentially a direct relationship to it, because you're saving time with your warehouse actually picking inventory, and the training process for training new hires, you're able to reduce that burden because they don't have to know your products. They just have to follow the instructions of the barcode scanner. So it just really helps overall. Barcoding, great workflows, and they incorporate with this new FBA process seamlessly. And of course, we still generate these packing slips and pull sheets and manifests if you need that. So my favorite part, I'm a big data guy and I love looking into the weeds of things. So when it comes to shipment discrepancies and reporting, this is my favorite part of this whole feature, because Finale is able to pull down and understand when Amazon says that they've received a certain amount of units and you've sent a certain amount of units, the discrepancy between those two values, we're able to demonstrate as a specific quantity in Finale, which we can generate reports on and create a real good audit trail for you so that you can understand and create safety claims or any of those disputes on Amazon to get reimbursed. Monetary value. So shipment discrepancies. Yes, it's here. Those audit reports are really easy to produce in Finale. I'll show you some examples of that and how we can just directly understand what's going on with the different shipments that happen on Amazon. You have a way and an easier way to get your money back. If you're using FBA and you understand what talking to Amazon customer service is like, you would have hired a reconciliation company to go through those shipment records for you. Nally might be able to stop you from doing that so that you can really get full reimbursement for those instead of paying a percentage off of those services. Being able to generate those reports easily and show you the information that you need to present to Amazon is just one step closer to kind of getting you guys to be self-sufficient in that realm. Okay, great. So we have one more segment here, which I'm going to talk to you about those exclusive synchronization options that we've been going over. So the first one here, accurate inventory management. What are the benefits for you guys? We get it. You guys can pull down inventory into Finale. What does that mean for you? Real-time synchronization, which ensures that Finale is matching your Seller Central data. That's super, super important. The value for you is you're no longer seeing that discrepancy, staying in one place. I'm sure you've been navigating through Seller Central and you found it difficult sometimes. You can just sit within the Finale hub, create your own view screens, show the inventory the way you want to show it, and Finale can definitely be there for you to do that. Visibility in inbound shipments. So the transit state for Amazon, right? Seeing that within Finale, seeing the entire scope of it, I think is really, really beneficial for you. Synchronizing those inbound shipments and when it's being processed at Amazon versus when it's in transit to Amazon is super, super valuable there. The value associated with that, you're able to track your inventory as it goes through. So that you know from point A to Z what's going on with your inventory as it sits in Amazon. Streamlining the operations. Again, another significant monetary gain, right? Time is money when it comes to the business world, and we have to understand if Finale is saving you time, it's saving you and it's gaining you money. So this is a direct relationship to reducing the amount of work that your team has to do and just increasing the amount of time you have to spend growing your business as opposed to micromanaging it. Lastly, that accuracy when it comes to those multi-channel support. We're all looking to expand revenue sources here. So sometimes that means leveraging Amazon to push inventory to other marketplaces. With the new information that Finale has for Amazon, we're easily able to increase your selling power on those marketplaces by allowing you to push your entire inventory base for Amazon, including those inbound shipments, so that customers can place orders and know that those orders can be fulfilled. Okay, we made it. So let's get into that demonstration bit here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then we're going to load up Finale and I'm going to show you what it actually means in the system as opposed to just on paper. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Okay, so I've talked to you about synchronization. That's one thing I've been mentioning over and over. I want to show you what synchronization means as far as inventory levels in Finale. So I'm going to share my screen again here. And hopefully you guys can see my screen and you're familiar with this. This is Finale, right? And what you see here are those stock levels that we talked about. So your total AFN inventory level, your remaining inventory or available inventory, your inbound inventory levels, sales reservations, other reservations. This is a top-down or high-level breakdown of what's in Amazon. And then we can go into details regarding what those different buckets are. So your inbound ship state, your receiving state, transfer, processing, problem, researching, and unfulfillable. Now, I see numbers here. Are those numbers accurate? Today, I want to show you that those numbers are accurate. So let's take this product and let's go to Seller Central and let's see what we can see. So right now we have 15 units in Finale. And if we go to Seller Central for the same product, we can see that skew here. We can see that the inventory levels are 15, the available inventory levels are 10, and there are 5 reservations. Now, this is that high level breakdown that we were talking about. And if we look at the reservations associated with it, we can see that Finale also represents those numbers. So if we go back to Finale here, there's one sales order or a customer order, and we can see that represented as a sales transaction here. And there are 4 other reservations, which are in the FC transfer category. This is just one way that Finale is showing you that level of information. Now, in addition to this, we can see that there is an inbound shipment for this order as well for 20 units. And we'd be able to find this transfer shipment within Finale's system just as easily. So we can go to stock transfers. And we can search for this inbound transfer shipment and we'd find all the inventory associated with the inbound transfer shipment just as easily. And this shipment, what it'll do is provide you a record of the itemized list of inventory that you sent to Amazon and all the shipments associated with it. And you can see the API connections happening here when they're made. Most shipments that you send to Amazon will go through several stages, which means that they have several different shipment categories, right? When you send it to Amazon, when Amazon receives it, when Amazon processes the inventory and all the different functions, we're recording all of it on our stock history report page, and you'd be able to see that workflow if you need to audit your trail. So again, really, really powerful because we're able to see the full scope of things as opposed to just one number that represents what could potentially be nothing. Let's look at another example and see whether or not we can get that in, how accurate this information continues to be. So I like to see discrepancies and I like to see problems. I like to see actionable things in Finale, right? So this is another product here that'll help represent that for us. So here we're going to see what Amazon says for this particular product when we look. So on this product, we have no inventory, but we have unfulfillable inventory. And these unfulfillable inventory are related to customer returns, they're damaged inventory. So what I want to do is go to Finale and I want to see that that's there as well. So if we go to Finale and we search for this product, we can find it here and we can see on the unfulfillable section that we have 2 units in an unfulfillable state. This tells me that when this number grows to a certain degree, I need to pull inventory back. Maybe that allows me to create a report that'll accumulate how much inventory I have it's unfulfillable so that I can schedule reports. But we know we can do automated removals as well. It's just another way to grasp that information within Finale. Let's look at one more just to understand the synchronization and the stock levels in Finale. And we have one more product that I want to show you guys that can provide you with that high level detail. So this product as well, we can see what it looks like in Seller Central. Right now in Finale, we have 3 inbound units, 1 unit that's reserved for a sales order, and then 1 reservation. When we look here, we see that 1 unit is being transferred between Amazon facilities, and we have 3 inbound. If we look at Seller Central, we'll see a similar result, 2 reserved units, which is that sales order and that FC transfer. And then we have that inbound shipment, which we can again find that tracking, that shipment ID and correlate it back to a shipment ID in Finale so that we can understand and trace back all the different processes and steps involved with that transaction. Really, really powerful, really, really cool. And the idea that you can just see it all in Finale without having to jump between different places, I think is incredibly, incredibly valuable. So one other thing, I talked a little bit about the audit trail, right? What does that really look like in Finale? When you want to see the history associated with the particular product, what will it look like as you go through that transition? Let's see just really quickly with our stock history page, what something like that could look like. So let's search for this product and let's see what that looks like. What do all these shipments that Finale creates and processes for your information related to to your your transfer shipments, what that looks like within our stock history auditing capabilities. Let's give it a moment here. And I'm going to extend this date range even further back. I think this is sufficient enough. So let's see in Amazon for this transfer shipment that we have here, what this particular thing relates to. So we can see the transfer shipment ID. We can identify that here within Finale, where Finale is moving inventory from an Amazon outbound facility. So this can be considered your transfer pending location as it moves to an inbound state, moving 20 units, and then going to an inbound ship, and then from an inbound ship going to inbound received, where it's processing it through. All of these are timestamped, dated, and when it's moving between transfer facilities as well, so FC transfer facilities, FC processing, we're creating and dating timestamp transactions each and every time. So you have a full audit history of what Finale is doing for all your inventory transactions at any time. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So with that said, what I want to do is show you how we can accomplish some of these things, some of the barcoding workflows, some of the auditing capabilities for discrepancy reports so that you can process these same actions that I'm doing here within your own account and get started maybe even today. So I'll stop sharing one more time and then I'll open another Finale account here and show you what these processes look like. Okay, so here I am in Finale again, and Here we have an account, my personal demo account, essentially to demonstrate some of these features that I like to show to customers. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working through the transfer process, moving inventory from your sellable location in your main warehouse to a pending location in Finale, so that we can reserve inventory for that transfer shipment that we know is coming down when we go to Seller Central and we make that transfer order. So I have a lot of inventory here, a lot of products, and we're going to show you how seamless and easy it is to create these orders and these workflows within Finale. So we're going to go to stock transfers here, transfer orders, and we're going to create a new transfer order. So this is an internal transfer order. You can be very customizable and name it however you want. For this example, I'm just going to keep with a system generated ID. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to operate this particular part of it. So we're going to select our destination location. And for me, that's still within my warehouse. I have a transfer pending location, but it's separated to a different sublocation. And I'm going to start adding products to this order. So I'm going to do this from the products view screen, which is one of my favorite screens. It just provides me with a big list of all my products in the inventory level so that I can easily move them between locations. So I'm going to move 50 of these, 20 of these, maybe 100 of these. And I think this is sufficient enough. I'm going to move them from this location to my transfer pending location. Now we can see that they're loaded up on my sales order or my transfer order, apologize. And I'm going to set this order to a committed state. When I move this order to a committed state, this is going to allow my barcode scanner to pick it up. And I'm going to show you guys my barcode scanner here. So I'm going to sync this so that I can get the most up-to-date information. And I'm going to use the barcode scanner to fulfill this transfer shipment. So I'm going to go to our transfer options in the barcode scanner. I'm going to go to transfer, pick transfer order and scan every item. And we're going to look for our transfer order. At this point, we can do a lot of things. Some companies love pull sheets and they love pulling down documents related to orders. You can do that in Finale just as easily. You can print your transfer order. You can print it with a barcode so that you can scan these documents and load it up on the order. But Finale also allows you to do many of those transactions straight from the barcode scanner, which I can do here. So we can find a representation for our transfer order, which is 96 here, which is going to pull up the order and it's going to show me all the different products that I need to pick associated with this order. And here's what we're looking at. We're looking at directed picking here. Directed picking is that feature that you're used to on sales transactions. It allows you to move through your warehouse in an efficient way from where you're currently at to the product destination. So let's enter my main sublocation. And from here, I can scan the item barcode. And again, these are barcoding workflows. So generally, you're going to be scanning barcoded products and entering the quantity amounts associated with it. But Finale also allows you to leverage some automated barcodes or automatic barcodes from a sense, allowing you to pick inventory from a particular location through the UI. I'm going to do that here in this example, scanning 50 units because that's what my order calls for, giving me that positive reinforcement that I did the right thing. And I'm going to continue to do that, but please do understand that if we happen to scan the wrong product or the wrong item for any of these quantity amounts, Finale does let us know as well. And I'm going to show you an example of that. So we're going to keep going. So instead of 100, I'm going to scan 101. And we're going to see that Finale is going to let me know that I'm scanning too many for that order. That reinforcement and that cue, that audio cue is what helps your warehouse team be more efficient and understand and limit mistakes because they know what they're doing wrong and the barcode scanner provides that reinforcement for them. And continue again. And we're going to do that last shipment here. Perfect. The order is completed. Now I can sync that back up to Finale and we can process the rest of the transfer. So for any users that aren't doing transfer orders right now at Finale, again, you're seeing it here. You can easily use directed picking to move inventory between locations with the scanner. It'll allow you to go through that directed picking option, and it'll also allow you to review that order as you sync it up to the system so that you can make sure that your team picked the right units and you can designate where you want these units to go straight from the UI. So now that I've synced this up, we're going to go back to the Finale UI and we're going to look at that transfer shipment and we're going to see what the next steps are for what we need to do. So here's that transfer shipment, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a refresh since I just synced new information up to a server, which will spawn that transfer shipment and those quantity amounts that I've uploaded. And at this point, I can select my destination, and I understand that this is going to my pending location. I can easily select that pending location. I can ship that transfer shipment, which will put the units in a transit state, reserving it, and I can receive it to that location, which will ultimately get the inventory into that specific location. Once it's in that transfer pending location, all we're doing is waiting for the Amazon API to let Finale know that that inventory is being taken to an inbound shipped state. Once you create that send to Amazon shipment within Seller Central, you'll find that that order gets processed right away, which is really, really easy. And that part of it is completely automated. But if you're looking to create workflows within your warehouse, transfer orders are a great way to make sure your team stays accountable for moving inventory when you're creating a shipment in Amazon. And once we're done with the transfer order like this, we can always mark that order as completed, which will remove it from your transfer order queue. Let's talk about what happens after that, right? So now we've moved inventory from one location within our warehouse to another location. Now I want to see what happens when Amazon pulls the inventory from that location and moves it to these other shipment locations. Let's tell that story a little bit, and we'll use an existing example to tell it. So we're going to go to our transfer orders again, and we're going to look at an existing one that I've created here. And we're going to use this to demonstrate the stock movement as it goes from one location to another. So this is an easy example to understand. Here's that transfer pending location that we talked about. And here's 89 pieces of inventory being moved from that transfer pending location to a transfer inbound location. I want you to pay attention to these lines here. They tell you that it's moving from one location to another. And each of these shipments that are created via the API tell that same story. Now it's moving from an inbound shipped location to an inbound receiving location. And as you go through the next one, you'll see that it moves from an inbound receiving location to an Amazon fulfillable location. You never have to manage this yourself. It's happening by the system as soon as it happens on Seller Central, which is really great. And you'll actually find that sometimes it even moves faster than Seller Central since we're using the API, which is a little exclusive to the FBA state, which allows us to get that information faster than sometimes even Seller Central can update. So now that you have a little bit of more of a detailed understanding of how Finale is collecting those numbers so that we can show you these inbound quantities and these FC transfer processes and quantities, we're getting all those shipment data from Seller Central and just sending it to you straight through in a digestible way. You can easily understand your inventory state by looking at some of these view screens. Now let's talk about what else you can do with Finale. Now that you have this data, and with data, you can make actions and you can drive purposes, right? Let's see what we can do with it. So we have these additional view screens, which will allow you to see and understand your inventory state side by side with your warehouse so that you can make decisions on what's performing better. How is your FBM state versus your FBA state? What's my sales velocity in FBA versus my sales velocity on my warehouse? Now you can understand maybe when you need to replenish inventory based on these numbers versus not replenishing inventory at all. Some of these are what we're trying to empower customers to do so that you guys can make better decisions to continue selling within your business and growing your business. Without that, Finale again aims to scale with you and not take away any power. And these are just features that help enable you to perform better as well. Let's talk about that last segment that we mentioned earlier. And I'm going to go back to this view screen to discuss that. And that's that problem quantity that we talked about earlier, right? This shows up, and I'll explain what it does. It shows up when there's a discrepancy between what you've sent to Amazon and what Amazon has received. This is something that Finale will create for you and is not a field that you'll find in Amazon. You have to discover this yourself and you have to tell Amazon about this yourself. Finale is doing that work for you and doing that lift. So how can you report on this now, right? I see a number here. What does it mean? How do I get data around that number? I'm going to take you into a journey, one of my favorite places in Finale, and that's our reporting system. And here we have a report called Inbound Problem Audit. And this report, you can run it, and what it'll do is it will spawn the information that you need. I've chosen to do this in a PDF format, but you'll be happy to know we can do this in a spreadsheet, Excel, so you can really get into the weeds of it. And if this information isn't sufficient enough, you can add more. That's the power behind this. You can always add more. So your order ID or your Amazon shipment ID and that discrepancy quantity that's associated with it, and the product or the SKU associated with it as well. We have timestamps regarding when it was received and when the order was placed as well, which again just adds more power to you. This is a monetary gain here. So now you can create that reimbursement case with Amazon. You can provide these records, these details that you might have been scrubbing to look through Seller Central. And I trust me when I say this, they make it as hard as possible for you to understand when these discrepancies happen. So this is just one additional way for Finale to thrive and give you that power. Okay, and with that said, we are about the stage where we can start getting into some of those Q&A sections. So I'm going to take a moment to stop sharing my screen, and we can get into the Q&A bit, and we can talk a little bit about some of those questions you guys might have had during the demonstration. Okay, let me pull that record up here. Okay, so let's see if we can answer some of these questions and see what's going on. So the first question we have here, are these updates available in all subscription levels? So you'd be happy to know this is not an exclusive update at all. So if you're a starter account, or if you're a bronze account, or if you're a platinum account or custom account with Finale, you can actually use this regardless of your account state. So it's available for all customers. Next question is, when will these updates be available? You're actually really going to be excited about this. They're actually available today. We have many customers already using it. So and I'll show you in a bit here, we have a special promotion that I'll get into after these questions that will really, really highlight how you can get started and what it looks like for customers that are already using Finale. What's that kind of journey or that onboarding path look like? And next question we have here, would we still create our shipment plans and buy shipping labels inside Seller Central? So you still need to, at this time, create your shipping plans on Seller Central. So that means going to Seller Central and telling Amazon what you need to ship to them. But Finale has several workflows where you can essentially build a shipping plan, export it, and have it upload it into Seller Central as well. But if you're used to creating shipping plans on Seller Central, we ask you continue to do so, and Finale will just sync those down as shipments, transfer shipments. If I have multiple Amazon integrations with FBA, will we need virtual locations inside Finale for each of those options? Amazon, Amazon Outbound, Amazon Reserve. Great question. So Finale will have two different sections because we understand clutter and we want to make sure that you're not just having a whole bunch of these virtual locations in your system. These new locations will be called system locations, which will hide outside of your regular view. So we will be creating them in your account, but they won't be interfering with your normal operations or how you interact with Finale. But yes, we will. Part of the onboarding is to create these locations for you. The next question, do we need a different stock page for FBA stock or can it be on the main page with other inventory levels? So if you're familiar with our saved views feature, you'll be happy to know that you can actually create those views yourself. So our FBA shipping view or stock levels view, sorry, that I've created or we've created actually is just what we've created as a standard, but you can definitely be creative and merge the two if you want. As you saw with the second view, we did have your warehouse inventory levels side by side with the Amazon inventory levels. So you can go wild and be creative. Part of Finale, one of my coworkers always says is Finale is really a choose your own adventure, and I couldn't agree anymore. Next question we have here is um, how does the transfer work for items that need to be built? Do we have to build everything, transfer it to pending, and then make a shipment? Great question. So if you're using builds because you're creating finished goods to send to Amazon or you're packing like multi-pack items to send to Amazon, you can create the build and you can actually transfer the inventory directly into the pending location right away. But you can do both. So that means you can stock your item at your regular warehouse location and you can create a transfer order for the built items, or you can choose to transfer the built items directly into the pending location. Both of those workflows will work. How does this work with lot IDs? Are we able to use lot IDs? We probably find the initial transfer to handle via lot IDs. The process within Amazon probably doesn't need a lot ID. Yeah, so if you're using lot IDs or you have products that expire within Finale, the API still doesn't understand, and nor will Amazon understand what quantity amounts are associated with that particular lot. So the answer is no, it doesn't use this. It will only use generic inventory. So we'll ask that you wash those lots and you create a washing lot process, which we have. And part of the onboarding is to accommodate customers that have those workflows and teach them best practices to create a seamless workflow for themselves. Um, Next question. If I understand correctly, the responsibility of what to send still falls on us and creating an internal system to help us make that decision. Yeah, so while what to send is still technically a decision that you make, Finale is creating processes to enable you to have the data to make better decisions, right? We call those data-driven decisions. And when you have more access to information, like what your stock out days are or what your sales velocity is in comparison to your other selling platforms, you're able to understand what you should send to Amazon. But a little bit of a sneak peek, we are working on some other methods for getting you more value when it comes to making decisions around what to send to Amazon as well. If I next question here, does the QuickBooks Online integration work with FBA for process accounting? Great question. So we have accounts that are already using QuickBooks and integrated with the new FBA features. And previously, you were missing a large chunk of your inventory asset, right? With the new visibility and the new quantity amounts, you're actually able to get the full scope of what you have at Amazon FBA. So your inventory asset value is much more accurate and actually represents what you have as what you own as a business, as opposed to what you might have been previously showing in QuickBooks. So more truth, your books are going to be looking a lot better if that makes you feel better. Next question here is there's a new placement fee for FBA. However, if you meet a certain minimum Amazon arbitrary threshold for cases, it is waived. Can this system tell us what that minimum number of cases to avoid the placement fee? Another great question. So yes, Amazon is increasing fees, which is why you really want access to more information. If you understand what those arbitrary thresholds are for particular products, you can include those as custom fields or inventory metrics or values in Finale that can help you understand that, hey, your product is falling below this particular level, and then Finale can create alerts that can notify you regarding that. But you want to be proactive in your approach to these things. So maybe creating automated reports that demonstrate your inventory levels for certain products might be more useful there. But as a direct answer, no, we don't directly tell you whether or not you've hit those thresholds, but we have the means to make it a lot easier for you to understand it. When generating a reorder report for FBA replenishments in Finale, does it take into account the sellable reserved inventory in FBA and the inbound FBA as well? So great question. So currently Finale's reordering system still is by location and the reserved inventory still exists in a different location technically. So it isn't combining them. We do have reports that can show you the combined efforts there, but currently it is still based on the sellable inventory, just speaking transparently. Like I said, we are working to make this a lot more easier for customers to do replenishment as well as reordering in those particular cases. Will returned FBA items be shown as returned, or will they just show as a change in available fulfillable quantity via API? In other words, will there be a return record for original sales? Another great question. So currently it is just an inventory metric showing you what is in Amazon as unsellable. So that could be customer damage or that could be damage by Amazon within their warehouse. So moving from researching to unsellable goods, right? So it is an inventory metric. It doesn't demonstrate a product necessarily being returned. In most cases, it is a return, but it is just an inventory metric. Well, returned FBA. Oh, sorry, read that one already. Um, does Finale pull additional API data from Amazon FBA, such as inventory age of FBA items or minimum stock levels for newly created FBA fees, days supply, recommended stock levels for Amazon? Currently, we don't pull that data. Sorry about that. Apparently, my headset thinks I wasn't talking. So currently, we don't pull that data down, but we're always making efforts to improve the features as best as possible. Right now, I think there's a lot of value here, but we're looking for feedback on new things that we can incorporate into the feature in the future. And last question here, is there any box content feature coming in? Amazon asked for box content, FBA shipments going to FBA fulfillment center. These SKUs are in which boxes, which quantities, etc. So as far as separating shipments into boxes and providing data around that, I'll let you know there is a bit of an internal discussion around this. Right now, Finale still provides the standard information regarding packing dimensions for your products if you record that data in Finale. But right now on the shipment level, we aren't providing that level of insight for you at this time. Um, Okay, we'll take one more and then I will talk to you guys a little bit about some of these, how to get involved with the new FBA features and some of the promotions we have surrounded it. Amazon is constantly changing their interface and policies. Will Finale be able to develop the respective features to avoid downtime? And yes, yes, this is a big one, right? I know this well. So it's technology. They're constantly updating these things, and Finale has a large dedicated engineering team that's constantly working on these features. So we're definitely looking to keep up with it. And I'll let you know right now, this feature isn't really widely available anywhere. You won't find a lot of systems doing it. We're jumping on it as quickly as possible and looking to keep up and making sure that it's staying up to date and working as we expect it to. Okay, great. So let me share my screen one more time. Hopefully I was able to answer all those questions to your satisfaction. I want to demonstrate for you guys one additional thing, which can get you guys some immediate value as you go through with Finale, and we can close things out. Okay, great. So we're going to talk a little bit about Finale's offer when it comes to FBA. So we all know Prime Day is coming up. We're looking to make a lot of sales. And you, as new prospective customers or existing customers looking to onboard the new features, there's some added incentive for you. If you want, you can reach out to Finale, and I encourage you to reach out to support at finaleinventory.com, and you can reference this Finale FBA and say you want to get involved with the new FBA features. If you do it within these time restraints, then it'll enable you to get 30 free days of Amazon FBA orders within Finale. So if you weren't importing FBA orders before because you were concerned about overage fees or maybe increasing your seller account thresholds and your payments to Finale, this is the way for you to try it out and see if it's going to give you that value that you want to help grow your business, especially during a high moving time. So take a look at it. The offer, like we say here, is valid through June 21st. So get signed up, and then as long as you're, and from that point, we will essentially do the 30 days of free orders. And if you have questions regarding the payment or the scope of the period of time, feel free to ask those questions at support@finaleinventory.com, and we'll be happy to get into more details about it as well. So what does this look like? I mentioned a couple times that we have existing customers using it. I want to share some of those comments from those existing customers as well, just so you guys can see what our existing customers feel about the software too, or the new features as well. So one of our existing customers have mentioned that they've cut down their FBA fulfillment time in half, saving on labor costs, shipping costs, inbound shipment costs, and nearly avoided all Amazon inventory fees. So I got a couple questions in those in that Q&A segment where there were questions related to those Amazon thresholds and meeting those thresholds. So you can already see that we have existing customers that are using the data that's in Finale to cut down on their shipping costs and cut down on the inventory level fees that they're receiving at Amazon too. So this really does just help, even with new data, you're able to leverage that new data in your existing workflows to help really upgrade your standard of operations when it comes to FBA. We have another comment from Danny. I work with this company a lot. Um, they mentioned that Finale, with the new FBA features, is given the ability to view their sales. They weren't pulling down FBA sales previously in the past, and now they can see their cost of goods sold, their inventory value, all within one place, and report that in QuickBooks for accurate bookkeeping throughout the year, which is something that they've been striving for a really long time. So really get involved, guys, if you're looking to be a little bit more automated and have one place, one source of truth for your inventory. Finale is aiming to be that solution for you. So what does it mean when you actually get involved? Like how long does it take? What does it look like? So I want you to reach out to support@finaleinventory.com, like we mentioned before. I'm going to give you guys a short questionnaire when you reach out to us, just asking what your state of things are, whether or not you're doing multi-offers, things like that, just so we understand if the solution will be a great fit for you. And in most cases, they are. And then we'll schedule onboarding. The onboarding session itself is generally about one meeting. We'll give you a breakdown and we'll get you set up. And we'll do some work offline. And then there'll typically be one or two follow-up meetings, depending on how much information and how many workflows you want to incorporate and the information that you need. It can extend past this, but generally speaking, this is most of the setup process. If you need more than that, we'll definitely accommodate it. But at that point, we would consider you live following those sessions. Okay. Well, guys, we are at that time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I definitely did. I can monologue about Finale for hours and hours. So this was a lot of fun for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Take care. Sorry, reading some more comments. Just 'cause some of these counts I know. So no problem. Have a good day, guys. Take care. Bye.